The first one is that nations are obligated to worship God. This is a non-optional principle that God created the nations. He created each one of us. We are obligated. We're commanded. This is not a suggestion.
The question is this a nation under God? We know that's what the founding fathers intended, and not just any God, but the God of Scripture. Nations are obligated to worship the true God. Did you hear what I just said? They're obligated to worship the true God, and there are dire circumstances that will come upon them if they fail to do that.
So this isn't a matter of separation of church and state and don't push your religion on me. No. No. Nations are obligated to worship the true God. That doesn't mean we need to force people to worship God, put a gun to their head. Absolutely not. God gives us a measure of free will, of course, a test of faith, whether we're going to worship him or not. But the nation itself, the leadership of the nation needs to acknowledge and worship God, and his word and his commands need to be the main threads that run through the laws and policies of a society. Because this is why we're created. John MacArthur goes on to say that we're created to worship God. That's the point. Whatever you do in life, you're created to worship God. You are a worshiper. You're either going to worship God or you're going to worship a false god or something else, money, position, power, whatever.
But one of the things that particularly interested Ryle was the relationship between the church and the state. He recognized the foundational truth that all people and all nations are called to worship the true God. That is not an option. That is a divine command. I don't think people understand that. Let me begin by establishing some foundational truth. Number one, man was created by God in the image of God for the glory of God.
That's exactly right. And when you don't worship God, you worship false gods, and those false gods aren't actually really even gods. There's only one God, right? There's only one true God. All the other gods of Islam or Hinduism or Buddhism or Eastern religion gods, these are all false gods. These are all false-made, demonic sourced gods. They're not true gods.
God said, "There's no God besides me." There is no God besides me. That is, there are no other gods. Scripture says back in Deuteronomy 32, it's repeated in 1 Corinthians 10, that all the gods of the nations are demons. They are satanic counterfeits, demonic delusions. There's only one God. All the rest are some form of demon worship.
That's exactly the case. And I'm very thankful for someone like Pastor MacArthur to make these very, very clear statements. We don't need to nibble around the edges here and be a little nervous about offending those who worship false gods. Actually, you love them by telling them they're worshiping false gods.